The last week of August got off to a perfect start. Our friend David Thomas took us for a hike in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. We climbed Mount Chocorua in near perfect weather and were rewarded with some fantastic views. The lower slopes have waterfalls, protected forest lands, fast-flowing streams. We picked blueberries. But by the time we got back to Portsmouth, where we left the yacht, the weather was beginning to change. On the radio, we heard for the first time that a tropical storm named Irene was developing into a hurricane and might travel up the coast as far as New England.
Hurricane Irene is expected to approach the region from the south and be near 38.5 degrees north, 73.5 degrees west by 8 a.m. sun, and inland near 45.0 degrees north, 69.5 degrees west by 8 a.m. Monday, while associated salt swell moves into the waters. See the latest National Hurricane Center advisory for Irene.
Time to start worrying?
Hurricane Irene hurtles towards North Carolina, may skirt Florida.
Irene, after weakening slightly yesterday, has strengthened to a powerful Category 3 hurricane. The National Hurricane Center in Miami says Irene has maximum sustained winds of 120 miles an hour. It's currently centered some 200 miles southeast of Nassau in the Bahamas.
High pressure center southeast.
The barometer was still high. We decided to sail for the Isle of Shoals, some 10 miles offshore, and consider our options. I'd been through a tropical storm once before, but I was a lot younger then, and we were on land, and the sum total of our storm preparations was to make sure we had enough beer. This would be different. The wind was picking up. These young seagulls picked a bad day for a flying lesson. Red sky at night, sailor's delight, they say. Why worry? But we did. On Friday morning, with 48 hours to go before Irene's predicted arrival, we sailed for the mainland. So we've decided to go to York for shelter. It's a harbour we've been to before. It looks pretty well protected, and I've just spoken to the harbour master, and he has a space for us. We picked up a mooring in York Harbour, stripped the yacht of sails, and moved ashore to stay with Maggie and Jeff, friends who have a home nearby. Saturday, it began to rain. Betty Lucas drove me to the harbour for a last-minute check on the yacht. The last job was to get the dinghy away from the water. We knocked on a few doors and found some helpful people who lent us their pickup truck to get it into their garage. On nearby York Beach, some surfers couldn't resist one last ride as the swells started to build. The barometer eventually fell, but nothing too drastic. And then on Monday morning, the sky cleared, the rain stopped, and we were back on board. Steve and Cinder helped us re-rig the sails. Further inland, there was major flood damage, and 1 week later, some communities in Vermont and upstate New York were still without power. We dodged Irene's bullet, but this is still only the beginning of the hurricane season.